Hey, I'm Tashika Ma'at. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a financial coach and the founder of Jama Wealth Financial, and I help you keep more cash in your pocket so that you can build wealth and achieve financial freedom. In today's video, I want to talk about how you can find the steps to move forward when you have a clear vision. Do you ever find yourself unsure of what your next step is? Well, guess what? I'm going to deep dive into that today. So this topic came up because we had to get our home security system installed, and the technician was at our house, and he's, tinkering and putting in the camera, and helping me work through the functions of how to get everything operating. And he kind of looks up and he sees my husband working at the computer. I'm there with him trying to get the system fixed, and then my two boys are running around the house making a lot of noise. And he just kind of pauses for a second and said, do you two both work from home? And so we're like, yeah, we do work from home. So it turns out he was curious because he himself was wanting to find a job where he could actually work from home. And my husband is a translator, so he's been doing this for over a decade or so, and I'm a financial coach. So me right now building my business, this is something that gives me the flexibility that I can create my own schedule and live life on my own terms. Interesting thing was that he was expressing I'm just so tired of this constant rat race that I'm in. I'm getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm having to go to work, and it's just so much. I just feel like I don't have any time. So naturally, I was curious, and I was like, well, have you ever thought about starting a business? Now, I know not everybody wants to start a business. I know that's not everybody's calling, but generally, if you have that fire in you and you're like, I just don't want to be on anybody else's time, you might want to figure out something that you can do on your own terms that is aligned with your passion and what you desire. So obviously my next question was, well, what's your passion? What are the things that you're good at? What are your skill sets? And he answered my first question first and was like, yeah, well, I did try to have a business. I got into landscaping a few years ago, but it didn't really work out. But I'm really passionate about writing. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But the interesting thing was as he was talking to me, he felt really unclear of what he could do next with his life, where his trajectory was going. And so it got me thinking about my journey of how did I even get to this point right now where I'm able to start a business? And if you don't know my story, I actually got laid off of my job back in 2023, and I was already doing Jama Wealth. I had the idea that eventually, someday I wanted to transition out of my corporate job and move into, fully building this business. Well, they got to me first and they were like, oh, bye, girl. So that's what led me here. But if it wasn't for the preparation that I was doing before in setting up my financial life, I would not have been able to be in this step right now. And the thing about it is, when I look back of how did I even get to this point, despite having lost my job and still being able to function and do the things that I want, it was because of the vision that I had for my life, that I had for my family. You see, back in 6 years ago, I made the decision that, okay, I need to get out of this cycle of where I am just constantly working, I'm making good money, but I'm paying off debt and I'm getting racked up more debt. And it was just frustrating that I just needed to find a way out. And the thing that came to me was I got clear on, all right, what was it that I want for my life? What am I working towards financially? And let me tell you, once I figured that out, once I got clear on this is what I want for my life, the floodgates started opening. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is my eyes were now open, my eyes and my mind were now open to opportunities that came my way for me to learn more, for me to position my income in a way that allows me to set up the foundation so that I can get to this point today. So it's really important to understand that having a clear vision is really what's gonna help you set up that foundation to know what's the next step. And let me say that it's not even that you'll know what next step to take, but the fact and the simple idea that you've taken that time to sit down and get clear on what you want for your life is gonna do a lot more good. So how do you take the next step? So step one, reflect on what truly excites you. What are the things that you are passionate about? And it's gonna take a lot of time for you to sit and have that self-introspection to really get to the core of who you are and what you wanna do. And then step two, record those thoughts. If you're a pen and paper girly and you wanna write down these thoughts, it's a great opportunity for you to write and journal what you're thinking and what comes up for you. If you're like me, something that I have learned recently is I now take my iPhone out and I click the microphone button on my notes and I just dialogue from brain to mouth that will record it into a notes app. Step number 3 is a really big one because I feel like a lot of people limit themselves. Dream big. This is your opportunity to think about the life that you want. And again, even if you don't know the path that's going to take you to that point, having that vision and not being afraid to go after what you want is really going to open those opportunities because now your intention is set, your mind is set. And so God will start showing you things in your life of, hey, here are the things that are going to get you to that next level. It's really important to understand with that big vision, you can break it down into small goals, which is going to jump into step number 4, where when you have that vision, reverse engineer, which means think about the end goal. So for example, for me, when I decided, okay, I want to reach that $1 million net worth, I reverse engineered because $1 million at that time, especially from someone having a negative multi-six-figure net worth, to think about, okay, how am I going to get from this point to this point was a very big goal and dream. And so what I had to do for myself was break it down into smaller chunks. So I didn't focus on the $1 million. What I did was focus on the $100,000 of, hey, that's my first milestone that I'm going to reach to get there. And then I broke it down even further of, if I want to achieve this $100,000 goal, how can I work backwards and what can I do to get to that next level so that I can put money aside to reach that goal? Because here's the thing that I learned. Success comes from you taking action towards the vision that you have for your life. One of the favorite things that I like to say that I've heard is, the fear, face everything and rise. You can look at fear and then you can decide, oh, I'm scared, I don't know what to do next. And you can just decide to sit in the comfort zone of what you have right now. But then I ask you this question: how much is that costing you? How much is it costing you to sit in the same situation year after year and not moving forward? Or you can have the thought of, I'm going to feel this fear and I'm going to do it anyway. Because for you to get to that next level, you do have to move past your comfort zone because you really have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. So I want to know, what vision do you have for your future and what's one next step that you can take that'll move the needle for you to get towards it? Well, that's it for today's video. If this video resonated with you, hit that like and subscribe button. You can also connect with me on Instagram and Threads. Here's to your financial freedom.